The Women's Reservation Bill was recently tabled in the lower house of parliament, proposing to reserve 33% of the seats in Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies for women. The reservation will be effective after the census conducted after the commencement of this bill has been published. Based on the census, delimitation will be undertaken to reserve seats for women. Doubts arise that the Women's Reservation Bill itself was brought for delimitation. By this delimitation, the national parties are going to do injustice to many states, especially to the southern states. To know what kind of injustice, we need to know about delimitation first. So please watch this video completely. What is delimitation? Delimitation is the act or process of establishing the boundaries of territorial constituencies in a nation to reflect changes in population. The Delimitation Commission must operate independently of executive direction. The Constitution requires that the Commission's decisions be final and cannot be challenged in court because doing so would indefinitely delay an election. The Lok Sabha or State Legislative Assembly cannot modify the Delimitation Commission's orders once they have been laid before them. Therefore, it should be considered here that any state government which feels injustice does not have the opportunity and democracy to appeal to the court. What is the process of delimitation? The Indian President appoints the Delimitation Commission, which cooperates with the Indian Election Commission. After each census, the Parliament enacts a Delimitation Act in accordance with Article 82. According to Article 170, after each census, states are also divided into territorial constituencies in accordance with the Delimitation Act. The Union government creates a Delimitation Commission once the Act is in effect. In 1950-1951, the President conducted the first delimitation exercise with the assistance of the Election Commission. In 1952, the Delimitation Commission Act was passed. Under the Acts of 1952, 1962, 1972, and 2002, delimitation commissions were established 4 times, in 1952, 1963, 1973, and 2002. The delimitation was absent following the 1981 and 1991 censuses. How is delimitation done in areas which have disadvantaged groups? Depending on the percentage of SC or ST residents in a state, a certain number of seats must be reserved there. The Delimitation Commission examines the population distribution in each constituency after drawing the boundaries. ST is only allowed in the districts with the highest percentage of scheduled tribe residents. The Delimitation Commission considers 2 factors when deciding how to divide up scheduled castes. It chooses congressional districts where the population of scheduled castes is more prevalent. However, it also disperses these constituencies across the state's various regions. Because the population of scheduled castes is typically distributed evenly across the nation, this is done. Every time the delimitation exercise is carried out, these reserved constituencies can be switched out. Other underprivileged groups are not similarly protected by the Constitution. Functions of the Delimitation Commission. The Delimitation Commission is a powerful organization, and its decisions are binding. Its decisions cannot be contested in court. The copies of the orders are presented to the Lok Sabha and the relevant legislative assemblies, but no modifications are allowed. The Delimitation Commission must choose the number and boundaries of the constituencies in such a way that, as practically possible, the population of each seat is the same. The Commission also specifies which seats in areas with sizable scheduled castes and scheduled tribes population are to be reserved for those communities. If there is disagreement among the Commission members, the decision of the majority will be considered. The Commission publishes draft proposals for public comment in regional language newspapers as well as the Indian Gazette and official state gazetted. Additionally, it holds open meetings where the general public can voice their opinions orally or in writing. The draft proposal is amended if deemed necessary. The final order is published in the gazettes and takes effect on the day that the President specifies. Duties of the Delimitation Commission. On the basis of the most recent population census data, the Commission shall be responsible for readjusting the representation of the various territorial constituencies in the House of the People and of the various territorial constituencies in the Legislative Assembly of each state. The plan behind the new Parliament. Currently, there are 543 Lok Sabha members in India. Rajya Sabha has 245 members. In the new parliamentary phase, there are 888 seats in the Lok Sabha Hall and 384 seats in the Rajya Sabha Hall. During a joint sitting of both houses, up to 1,224 people can sit in the Lok Sabha and participate in the event. The provision of so much space in the new parliament was on the basis of delimitation. There are fears that if the parliamentary constituencies are increased, it will disadvantage many states including the southern states. Such an increase in numbers will cause many new problems. As the population increases, a census will be conducted and then delimitation will be done. Accordingly, the constituencies will be increased. For India, population control was formulated as a national policy in the 1970s. However, the responsibility of implementing it was left to the states. This resulted in excessive population growth in some states and negligible growth in others. For example, in India between 1971 and 2011 there was a 166% increase in Rajasthan and 138% increase in Uttar Pradesh. However, in Tamil Nadu it increased by 75% and in Kerala only by 56%. According to the 2011 census, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Bihar, West Bengal and Madhya Pradesh together account for half of India's population, that is, 48.6%. Thus, if the seats are increased based on population, these 5 states will hold half of India's Lok Sabha seats. That is, states that don't care about population control might end up with more seats in the House of Representatives. States in the south that supported family planning ran the risk of having fewer seats available. I'll be upfront about it. Please pay attention. There are 28 states and 8 union territories in India. But national parties like BJP and Congress will get a chance to rule the whole of India if they only look at the above-mentioned 5 states. No need to worry about the other 31 states. Especially in South India, there is no concern about winning. Thus, the national parties will not come forward to do any good for the people of South India. For example, currently there are 543 Lok Sabha constituencies. Let's say it rises to 700 after delimitation. Now a party needs 351 seats to win power. Assuming that the number of 80 constituencies in Uttar Pradesh increases to 100 after the same delimitation, as mentioned above, if the party wins in the 5 northern states of Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Bihar, West Bengal and Madhya Pradesh, they can rule the whole of India. Representation of people of other states is not necessary here. Former Governor of West Bengal, Gopal Krishna Gandhi, in his essay, Delimitation Fallout Needs No Political Forecasting, proposes a solution. That is, until the population stabilizes in all states, increasing the number of constituencies should be suspended. When increasing after that, he says, the blocks should be increased not only by population but also by including some other calculations. But this would require an amendment to the constitution. I hope no national parties will not do. I request viewer here to comment on your opinion without fail. Thank you.